Okay. I suppose we might as well get into this, get started, have a good time doing such. Let me make sure all this chords and things are fine. Peace. Welcome back. Secret House Against Tokyo-based hip-hop art and culture conversations. Secret House channel has a couple things different going on. Primarily, it's me and Jet. We're the Secret House landlords, so to speak. Shout out to Marks and all the comrades. But yeah, me and Jet started this. We do album discussions and such. And sometimes when we don't have content, I like to get in here and do a couple things like listening to music. Go back and check out the year 2000 kind of wrap up thing that I did, or 2001 and 2002 that I just did. If you want to see what type of music I was listening to back then. I'm Graham Mega Flowers. I am an old b-boy of hip-hop culture and such, and so I've been around this for a long time. And also on the Secret House channel we have What's Up with the Minutes, which is me, Cozy, and Trey Does that discuss things happening in hip-hop, not really topical, but sometimes tangentially related to things happening in hip-hop. Largely we discuss art with comedic and also a political lens, a leftist lens, and by leftist I mean for me especially Marxist political tendency, but we're communists. But yeah, today, as you can see in the title, I am going to be discussing the incredible 2002 release, Fantastic Damage. This must be underground category. Yes, I did those yearly wrap-ups, and I was like, I'm not going to do the big albums because everybody already knows what the big albums were, your Cloud Deads and Fantastic Damage and Cannibal Ox and things like that. But then I decided, like, hey, why not? I might as well go ahead and talk about Fantastic Damage. I was there at the time. I love the album. It's actually my favorite LP album, like easily my favorite LP album. And so I was not really doing any research on this. I mostly just want to get in here and talk to you guys my experience. And yeah, it came out May 14th 2002, which I remember because it was like right around my birthday. And yeah, it's the I recall at the time the build up for the album was tremendous. I had been a longtime fan of El Producto, company flow, going back to at least like 97, 98 is when I first got into them. And so I was really hyped for this album coming out. And I also had the bootleg several months in advance. I guess the promo copies, I want to say several months, but I had the bootleg for sure for a while. And it was a promo joint that had like, you are listening this promo, or sometimes something like Def Jux, this copy belongs to Patesh Singh, or somebody who was in the industry, or a writing person that somehow leaked the album. But that was always funny, and I had that. And I remember going to the store to pick this up on release day, just because the album cover looked incredible. The album art is incredible. The insert, like the fucking piece at the back of the full Fantastic Damage fucking Wild Style piece was amazing. And you guys hear that weird shit happening in the background right now. I'm pretty sure that's off my phone. It's not online on streaming, but that's the We're All Gonna Burn in Hell Megamix 2 by El Producto. And yeah, I thought maybe put on the Fan Damnstrumentals, which was also a deluxe CD that came out a couple months after this that had all the instrumentals, and also was one of those rare CDs that you could put in your computer, and it also had some extra stuff. I think it had a music video on it for Deep Space Nine millimeter, and it also had the lyrics, which was cool at the time if you had access to a computer and shit, and a remix on it too that I haven't heard in a long time. Maybe I'll have to hunt that down. I think it was a remix by RJD2. So yeah, maybe. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the album because let's see what this is. Hold on, what's going on here? Yeah, but Fantastic Damage. One more thing about it being my favorite LP album, I did see a short from there was the great Mike Seatown from Dead End Hip Hop fame talking about his favorite LP albums, how to rank them, and I actually agree with everything Mike said. I was a big fan of Mike, and he's primarily the reason that I tapped into Dead End Hip Hop is his perspective, because he's also been around the culture for a long time and had that underground underground, countercultural perspective, unlike some of the other guys. And he was like, yo, my favorite album is Fantastic Damage, then Cancer for Cure, then I'll Sleep When You're Dead. And he made a comment that he felt like there was something different about I'll Sleep When You're Dead. And I fully agree with that. I actually am on record in the Discord. Join the Discord. Also hit the like, subscribe, bell for notifications, things like that. Join the Patreon maybe. But in the Discord, I was talking to Dark Cal, my man from South Africa, Mandisi, and I was explaining to him how there was a sharp departure I felt in terms of what LP was doing on I'll Sleep When You're Dead, which caused it to seem to me as though he was trying to break out into a different type of fandom, and also kind of it didn't seem as hip hop to me. Of course, it's obviously super hip hop, but there was a lot of like the song structures on that. Some of the chord progressions and the approach to the songwriting seemed different to me. Whereas this one is explicitly b-boy shit. And you know, there was like Cedric Zavala from the Mars Volta, which I love, on I'll Sleep When You're Dead, and also Trent Reznor on the lead single Flyntology. But I just, you know, I go back and I listen to that album, I'm like, this is pretty dope, but it also just doesn't reach the type of, like, it didn't speak to me the same way that Company Flow did, or Early L did, or Cannibal Ox, or, you know, subsequent things that he did. Even, you know, I even prefer a lot of the Run the Jewels stuff, at least the first two Run the Jewels albums to I'll Sleep When You're Dead. It just seemed very kind of indie, rockish, popish to me, where I felt kind of like this, and no slight against LP. I feel LP is, you know, undoubtedly on the hip-hop Mount Rushmore for the underground scene. I think he's highly important and tremendous, and one of the greatest high water marks in independent hip hop, with the success that he achieved and all the lineage and things that he's done within the culture. But there was just something about it that I felt like the same way I felt like RZA, like when he started getting to Hollywood, like he wanted to like fit in more to this broader spectrum of music, partially perhaps because the way that hip hop is also often devalued as not being as musically complex or theory heavy enough. And you know, even on the High Water album that he did, which is a jazz album, I felt like, you know, that was a little bit closer to the LP that I like than I'll Sleep When You're Dead. I do not like I'll Sleep When You're Dead all that much, and I'll go on record saying that. I think a big part of being a fan of a person is not being vehement, like wildly in love with all their work. I think it's important to have critiques about it, and then you can love artists and have them still be your absolute favorite artists while not enjoying the direction or even some of the music they came out with. I feel the same way about some of my other favorite MCs in my personal top 5. I feel the same way about Bus Driver. Some of Bus Driver's work, it just kind of gets past me. Same thing for Aesop Rock. I love Ace, but I'm not even a big fan of None Shall Pass like a lot of people are, and some of the other work that he did too, you know. But yeah, LP, Fantastic Damage, this album is to me unassailable and just one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. It's undoubtedly on my top 50 music albums of all. Like I've said this twice recently, and I don't know why I'm using this as some type of anecdote. I don't have any real metric for it. I just know that I love this album, and it ranks up there with the greatest type of work that I've heard in any genre from any artist. You know, from I don't know, fucking Amish electronica to I don't know, fucking ambient death metal, like anything that you could possibly think of. LP's Fantastic Damage sits there for me. So let me go ahead and just go ahead and play from the beginning, and we'll just kind of go through and listen to it, and I'll give you some of my thoughts on these things and such. But yeah, this part of the intro, man, it starts off. What I remember putting in, it was like, I was like, oh my god, like what is going to happen? What is going to happen? Is it going to be like Cannibal Ox that was so cohesive and so, you know, kind of also dour and dark and kind of, you know, but Ridiculoid was kind of more upbeat and b-boyish on that album for me too. And he was like, this is supposed to be on my album. So I was like, yo, what is going to happen? And you know, the album starts kind of like at the end, like if you let it play back, it restarts. It's like, now we've reached the end of the show, and it's a great way to to introduce a listener into LP. It's brilliant, and it's such an uncanny the approach is such an uncanny hip-hop composition, and the way it's kind of fixed in time but also extremely progressive. Remember, this is like that keep it real hip-hop era, right? And he's also one of the people that are pushing it forward. And a lot of this, a lot of this album is kind of like 16 songs, 70 minutes, just a treatise of keep it real hip hop and 4-element culture. Even this right here, it comes in. It's transgressive and edgy as fuck, but we'll also like think about like turntablism at the time. Like this is just drums and fucking turntables. It's kind of like what you would get from like cop porn breaks, super seal tapes, like turntable albums where it's like there's drums and you just scratch over it. And he starts the album out with that. It's extremely hip hop, and well, I mean everything is hip hop that wants to be hip hop, but a lot of it is unapologetically brings you to this world that is like deeply uncomfortable. But many of those uncomfortable things and obstacles about the capitalist world still resonate with this deeply, and there's an anxiety and there's something magical about this. So
sounds that on the human soul is moving slides of radio dust. Cranial munchman get flying out. Radio spun of dust to combat each other. After house in a deadhead flat. The city moans. And
also I think that the energy of his rapping on this is just better to me than I'll Sleep When You're Dead. I'll stop making comparisons a little bit, but this shit is for the mutants.
Still collect the rebel factions, dirt and just follow. The citizens don't love to be loved, we just follow. They hate the kids, homie, so fuck them, say the adults. Kids are patriotic, robotic, operate catapults and who step over innocent. Vagrant of Reaganomics phase, read the books that will burn at the bar race. Independent like this, fuck! You misinterpreted that punk crush shit. Some man punk crush this. Spectacular dawning in a distractions bliss. 12 took a sabbatical, but back for the new semester. Rocking that class action suit for the large amount of floor and press party yes. By sight with a tainted you need to haul that negative style to the antique roadshow, bitch. This is the beast for the radio.
Yeah, yo, you need to haul that negative style to the, or what is it? You need to haul that megadumb style to the antique roadshow, bitch. Yeah. So much of this album is about him being like, you guys are nostalgic for hip hop and you guys are so stuck into it that your shit is just fucking unbearable and not going anywhere. It's deeply unoriginal and you guys just reify the same bullshit that's whack about hip hop culture. And he was trying to move it somewhere else too, which I think a lot of cats had that kind of mentality back then. But in the scheme of things, there was a lot of cats who were perfectly fine continuing with some of the formulas that were tried and true, that were real hip hop and dope. I mean, you listen to a lot of stuff that Hieroglyphics were doing or Living Legends were doing. It's not necessarily like genre pushing experiments, and it doesn't have to be, but LP was committed to that, and that's one of the reasons his music is so tremendously unique in a lot of ways. It's just the way that he composes his drums are still unlike virtually anybody in the space. And if you hear somebody doing it, it's like, oh, that's LP-esque, sort of in the same way that we talk about like Kafka-esque. It's like there's certain things there that you just notice are like the way he rocks the bells and his bass lines and his synths. And at this point, I felt like he was kind of at the height of his powers coming off of Cannibal Oxen.
At the car wash and cost less cash or black. I'd imagine that the water was rising fast. Quarter in hand and the light for the squeegee man. Adult light squeegee man shot cop's hand.
Yeah, squeegee man shooting. And there's like this weird like a
fourth grade, I got high top plays running up. Black and red Jordan bootleg craze.
They got lyrics on this shit too, actually, on Spotify, which is my mother bought me bootleg since. Listen to it. That shit is so ill. And it's like, it's not just looping, it's like moving and transforming and coming in different ways too, like and rising. Ew, the Crazy Kings. See, that was something I thought a lot of cats would just know about, but I bet you nowadays cats don't know what that's about. That's graffiti legends. And this is dope. It sets up the, this song really sets up kind of like it's a personal joint. He's talking about growing up and finding who he wanted to be.
I took a name too, it's all begun. And wrote raps in my room, sipping Capri Suns. In fact, studied the cadences of
Cool Mo D. I've been listening to Cool Mo D in a long time. But also, like, LP is very Gen X, you know. He's like I was like a baby around this time, you know. Like, well, I mean, I had just graduated high school. This is 2002. I graduated high school. I had to leave Hawaii because of crime, and you know, like I was moving around the country. I bounced from Texas back to Hawaii, back to North Carolina, all within like I want to say like 14 months or something like that. And like, you know, I was just a hip-hop kid, back on, bumping the real raw shit, still trying to write graffiti, still breaking, still doing my, you know, little shits. Yeah. And also, you know, there's like this, you know, like remember, there's this element on this album, I think, that talks a lot about like history and lineage. This is really important to the framing of what he was doing on Fantastic Damage. And at this point in time, you know, it's the very tail end of that Keep It Real era, and he's like, fuck it, I like, even the ruckus shit is whack, like all this industry shit is whack, I'm gonna do it myself. And this album helped inform a lot of my politics that, you know, would eventually diverge from a lot of people, I suppose. I can't count that many Marxists on my fingers, but at the time, like this was ethics to me. You know, this was you know, a rallying call, like a flare in the sky. Like, this is where we need to be. This is the direction we need to go. This is the for me, it's either rhyme or euthanasia. Like, hip hop was everything to us, to me. To you know, young B-boy Omega Legs. And then, yo, like, King percussion shit, Deep Space Nine Mill, which is wonderful. You know, probably now it's one of the songs I don't go back to as much because it was the one that was played so much and was the more popular one. And as a listener, I tend to do that. Like, I can barely handle listening to like Triumph or most of the songs in 36 Chambers. I've just heard them too many times. And it's like Mobb Deep don't get played that much when you're at the hip hop show, you know, as a party type of thing. But you hear like Wu-Tang joints, you hear, you know, a lot of Tribe joints, and a lot of the joints that I've heard so many times, it's like, oh my god, like I'm so tired of hearing it. With Deep Space Nine, it wasn't so much like the events, it was just like everybody else around me. It was like this was their one on the album, whereas I had a few different ones, and I'll get to a little bit later. But these drums, like, L is so fucking fire with the bells too, and that and that vocal sample, like of the yo, it prevents like this kind of really dystopian, kind of like futuristic video game world, which is kind of what I imagine New York as. Is not a New York kid. I just imagine how dope it would have been to be in New York around so much culture and especially hip hop culture, and you know, a busy city. Like I was in big cities and shit too, but it was just like, it was different. And it's like, you know, the energy of New York was distinct and regional, even much more at that time probably than in our kind of new you know, homogenous no more mom and pop shops type of stores or boutique spots only. Yeah, signed a ruckus, I'd rather be mouth fucked by Nazis unconscious. Yeah, this is also that point where I was getting disenfranchised by the mainstream underground. Like, not the mainstream underground, but like kind of that dirt level, like that, you know, that Talib Kweli level, you know, and the level that was like, you know, like freeway level. It's like poppy, but it's also like hip hop. You know, I was getting disenfranchised with, like, I think fucking Digital Bullet by RZA dropped this year. Digital Bullet is the second Bob Digital album. I was like, this is fucking trash. Oh my god, I'm fucking so disappointed because I love Bob Digital in stereo. Yeah, but this is hard, man. Like, this is also one, you know, Tune Mass Damper. I remember, you know, back then we didn't have the phones and shit. Like, not to be an old head, but like, I remember, like, what is a tuned mass damper? Like, I wrote it down so when I got near a computer, I could, like, Yahoo searched it, or I don't know what it was, like Netscape searched it or whatever, and I found out what a tuned mass damper was, and I was like, oh, that's fucking hard. Like, I had no idea what it was. And this joint is so fucking so fly. Again, with the samples and what he's doing, like, just created a fucking crazy world. Yeah, it was like every day I am suspended. And the beat switch is where it gets super b-boy to me and shit. Like, yeah, hold on, let me skip ahead. Like, the end of this track is like one of my all-time favorite moments in hip-hop. Like, where, especially the very end, where it's like a fucking bomb going off, like slow motion fucking nuke on an island. I had never heard any beats like this before, It was like most of the songs on this, I was like, I've never heard anything like this, except for other LP shit. And this is so different than Co-Flow. You're not promised tomorrow. That's Cool G Rap, yeah? You're not promised tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. Shout out to G Rap. Go. I'm dirty, but blame my weakness. Looking for a hero in stores, looking for hard to go hard. I swear the last monkey sweat soaks my pores. And this is one step from my junkie liver breaking the doors. I'm playing club with thermonucleus games. It's rearranged the whole flame. Who the fuck is down to steal me some pain? Who the fuck is down to steal me some paint? We had to steal paint back then. I was like, at this point, I wasn't stealing paint like that anymore. I was actually getting out of graffiti a little bit. Like, I would finally quit for real, but like, you had to steal your paint back then. It's like you didn't order a bunch of cans of Molotov or Krylon off the internet or go to a fucking hardware store and buy it. Like, you were supposed to steal it. Like, that's part of the gig. Like, if you weren't doing that, you're fucking falling off. Like, you shouldn't be in a gallery. You shouldn't be on permission walls. You should be stealing your shit. And that's what the way it was supposed to be. Who the fuck is down to steal me some paint? Like, I was. Shit's like a movie. And also the sequence in this album is really wonderful too, how all the songs go into each other. Yeah, let's go. Dead Disney. I'm like, I really like this joint. It's like, already at the time I had read, Baudrillard, hyper reality. Disneyland is like pure hyper reality, right? And it's like, frolic through the woods, destitute and mad Aggie. It was like, it's hard. What is the line he has? Daddy's revenge on Oedipus. Yeah. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Daddy's revenge on Oedipus. Standing on the precipice, holding heads with your pedal to lecherous manipulator. Oh, sick joke. Yeah, this shit is hard. But this might be my least favorite song on the album. Maybe it's 9 mil, but yeah, this is hard. And like I was talking about the instrumental album coming out after this, like I didn't really bump that too much. Like the beats to me on this album are really wild and really dope, but we had instrumentals, and it's like back then it was like you didn't always just have instrumentals. If you and the homies wanted to freestyle, you had a crew, a bunch of beats and shit. And even though I had that beat tape and even Lil Johnny from the Hospital, those were not necessarily joints that we would want to freestyle to. Like Lil Johnny from the Hospital maybe had like 2, and these beats here, like there's a few moments that are really dope, but I think the thing that really puts it together and makes it dope is actually the energy and the direction and how they were written for LP. It's like of course you could rap over anything, but like I don't hear this and be like, it's time for me to rap too. Like I don't get that type of joint. I don't like maybe on none of these except for like I don't know. Yeah, this might be, I'm a huge Aesop fan. People know that. You guys can see in the background, I got the big poster or whatever, like this and that. But yeah. One of the things I think about when I hear this is like after Idea passed away, I remember seeing Bus Driver, maybe it was a tweet or like I saw it somewhere, but Bus Driver was talking about how like when this dropped, he was with Idea, and Idea was like, what does it mean? Like they're trying to figure out like what are the lyrics about on this joint, and like what's going on. It was so fun to try to be like, what are the bars, like what is he saying here? And it's like, that's hip hop shit, man. Like rest in peace. So, but this is still an ill fucking. Yeah, like even the Ill Bill shit, which doesn't age necessarily well in terms of like how he's talking or what he's talking about. Like even the little breakbeat behind that is so fucking live, and it's like it doesn't deter me from fucking like even when I hear that, like I know the fucking Ill Bill shit by heart. Even though I wasn't a huge Nonfiction fan, I wasn't a huge Bill fan. My favorite Ill Bill song is probably "Simeon Drugs," which is off of it's a Company Flow joint. It's an LP joint, but yeah, like. I'ma strap your dignity down and see what that bitch could bench press. Relentless Archon player. Aesop was crazy. I mean, Aesop is still, but this is a hella jam. Like, DJ Ability, break this shit down. Yeah. Shout out to Abilities too. Like I was just talking about Idea. Yeah. Turntablism, man. It's like there's so many elements of this album that you just don't really see too much. The emphasis on turntablism and a lot of things. Like, there's artists that are still pumping it out, like Prim and Prim Rock and Castro, that D Styles. It's just like, for some cats that's still like a really dope, useful thing to do. For other cats, it's like, you get DJ Premier, and that's like his, I don't want to say gimmick, but that's like his trademark, the scratched chorus or whatever. But like I said, like the way this album starts, it's like fucking cop porn breaks. It's like fucking Sugar Fragger Show. It's like Wave Twisters. It's like that type of shit. And then throughout the album, we've got the turntablism, and even some of like, it sounds like some of the things are scratched, but it might be like a ribbon control, like other shit, Yeah, I also think that one of the illest lines is, you're talking about 88 miles per hour, like going back to like 88 being that golden year or whatever, real hip hop type of shit. Appreciation of real hip hop, but like real hip hop in lowercase, but also all caps. You know what I mean? Like. But that line, before I hop in the DeLorean, I shit in Mr. Fusion. That's crazy. It's like Mr. Fusion takes garbage, so you can shit in that motherfucker and, you know what I mean? Refill the fucking capacitor. Like that's crazy. Like that's such a hard fucking conceit. Like that's such a hard fucking visual. Like it was right on brand, man. Hold on. Let's go to perhaps the greatest song on this album, Truancy. And I think this album, I think this track too, it's also important to state, well, it's not important to state, but it's something that I think that especially nowadays and around this time, people were starting to really think about white people in hip hop spaces and stuff like that, because this is like also the year of Eminem, like 8 Mile type of shit, and he's like the biggest artist in the world, one of the biggest artists in the world. Certainly him and like 50 are like the biggest rap artists in the world and shit. And I like how this approach from L as a white cat who doesn't share the exact Black American songbook lineage of hip hop. He pulls out a lot of the rock stuff. He pulls out a lot of the experiences that he had. His dad played jazz, and that I think that comes in with some of like the timing and the drum signatures and shit like that. But like like it would be crazy if he was like going over like chipmunk soul, like soul samples like that. It's like this kind of like guitar joint that comes into this is just like so ill, and he doesn't kowtow on like that perpetual blackness is the ground and guarantee of all hip hop. He's just like, yo, this is like, and this was a thing too that a lot of us understood, is like hip hop is anything that you do if you're hip hop, and you just had to show that you were authentic and of the culture and a part of it. And then no matter what you did, it's like what you did was like a hip hop. And so there was just like, you know, I like that L didn't try to be black. Like we've never seen LP in a do-rag, right? Like, if, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like he just come from Brooklyn. He knows how it is. Like, yeah, man, this is important. But this joint, man, like, also he says, I was a b-boy once, I really gave a fuck. You know, that speaks to me. And the crescendo on this, where it builds up, you know, so amazing.
Jam Master J with a shot. Saucer, nitrogen glycerin, a truck driving through rainforest on space. It's like we're gonna take this label to another level. I'm gonna take this level to another level.
Yeah.
Sonically robbing the nation. When I strap on the blue cardigan, we could be neighbors.
Yeah, man. And a lot of the things that he talks about on this album, you don't really hear too much anymore. At the crescendo, he's like, this is for new jacks they're trying to decide where they fit, get busy, destroy the walls when you spit. For writers with a Krylon image brain print, translated, leave your name dripping from bricks. For cats who covet my fame with or covet fame with my name on their lips, rethink it. You're sucking poison milk from fake tits. Like, who espouses those type of, like, be hip hop ethics like that?
This is for kids worried about the apocalypse. Do something, prepare yourself and stop talking shit.
And the drums on this are so hard. Like, this album is a lot like 2001: A Space Odyssey for me. It's like, it was so engrossing. It's so full and so around. I mean, I suppose Cannibal Ox is like that shit too. And there's other albums like that. But man, like, there was something really cinematic about this album to me. And then it kind of, you know, it's the guitar and turntablism. A man after my own heart. Like, this is why I'm an old b-boy and shit. Like, you know, so fucking hard. Yeah. What do we got next? The Nang. All right. Vets of everything, Vietnam and anything else that are suffering from the collapse of the empire kind of get this. I do like this joint a lot. Like, the beat switch, especially after the chopper shit. That deep bass bomb is like a total assault. Some real b-boy shit. Yeah. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, technical retardation. I love this. And this beat is like a little bit slower, but you know, there's one thing LP was like, no soft fucking beats. Like, everything is a banger. And this one too. I might have to do another listen to I'll Sleep When You're Dead and see if I have different feelings about it. I kind of played a little bit a couple weeks back when I was talking to Mandisi about the shit, and I was like, all right, this is pretty hard, this is pretty dope, but I still fucking don't like Flyentology. I still don't like, there's a few joints on those that like Draconian Love Coaster. Like, I remember when I saw him, I was like, oh shit, LP's gonna be on one of the late night shows, and it's like he did some shit like Draconian Love Coaster, and I was like, yuck. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, dude, Smithereens, goddammit. Like, but I get it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just, you know, it's not hate. It's just like my taste about it. You feel me? Like, it's important. It's important that they do their own thing, and I can be critical about it. But I just, yeah. What is a b-boy? What is a b-boy? Who knows? Who knows? What are these b-boys I keep hearing about? Hold on, let's get to the... Here we go, man. Hold on. Oh, we got Vast Stare on here, too, with the... Pass the tiger piss. Now, right here is crazy.
Yo, L, man. Yes, sir. sir.
Talking to the hoes, man. We gotta get on stage,
Yes, sir.
man. It's the last show of the
Sir,
tour,
we're
man.
in for duty.
I'm saying, man. Niggas is
Coming out bloody.
It's been a long time coming. I really want to go home.
me too.
But I have to do this shit. Coming out bloody. Bring it. Emerson, Lake Palmer, aka Dirty Laura, spray harder. What a marvelous butter maker. 50 gig tone, ho, dusty digital makeup. Melt when you slow this round. Technical retardation, sound round one, sound the hardest. Heartless, harmless, farthest. Farrah had a lot of hot shit, hopped up and shifty. Shit, sick. Monster, ancient makeshift ministry mic on. Nervous slur, palm, teleprompter, sights on. Laser head looks like a linguist.
I understand that this shit sounds really different to me too, because I have a b-boy sensibility and the type of beats that I like too. Like this shit is like hard as fuck b-boy shit. You know, like I feel like, yeah, fucking now's where I fucking bomb. And there's also, what is there, like a fucking, what does he say? Fucking fake face, I hate it. And then, but yeah.
Irregular predator with bad brain magic. Magic is a Siegfried and Roy with bullets special. Back the tapestry with bruises. Water leaking out, pop box and hot cruise. Straight bruises.
I would love if LP made a fucking like an album for the b-boys, like no rapping, just like joints for the b-boys to get down to. That would be hard because he's got a bunch. Like if you listen to like Drones Over Brooklyn, the beginning of that shit is like, yes, that is one that we could fuck with. Yeah. It's the drums, you know, like the break, like. And then we have the little, and it goes right into one of the craziest beats I've ever heard, and one of my all-time favorite. This might be my favorite on that one, man, because accidents don't happen. And listening to kind of how prescient, like a lot of the critiques that he was making about, like, you know, of course we kind of knew it's like we're only deepening in the contradictions of capitalism. It was easy to see it back then. Like we were seeing the Bush administration back then, you know, the NSA, the Patriot Act. We were quite worried about surveillance state and, you know, and austerity measures and Islamophobia and also police violence and the same type of things we're worried about now. But back then, like a lot of us were like, yo, fuck the surveillance state. Like, watch out, don't put your shit online. Like, you know, be careful. Like this and that. And now we got all of our retinas and our fingerprints all connected to our phones and shit. It's like, yeah, it's funny how it slips like that, right? This is, you know, I'm not sure what LP's politics are now, but I'm sure he's living pretty comfy, at least in terms of whether or not he's going to make rent, I imagine. And he deserves it. Good for him. It's fucking incredible. But yeah, this joint, this is the greatest song. It's like a fucking. Can I get louder? It's like I feel like I want to be louder. Maybe it's just these fucking headphones. Maybe it's super loud already, but I gotta sound check more. But yeah, this shit is like futuristic funeral bagpipes. And that synth that. I remember bumping this, like I went back to Hawaii for like my girl's my ex's, a long time ago ex now, but like my ex's like prom and shit, because she was a class below me, right? Oh, 2 classes below me. I was like 16. Oh yeah, I was like, yeah. So she was 2 classes below me. So like, yeah, it was not that bad. Like her parents knew, you know what I mean? Like we had been dated all through high school and shit like that. But I went back for a prom and my cousin Phenom, shout out to Phenom, also a writer. Phenom was like, he had got a Integra, and I'm not a car person. I don't know the Fast and Furious type of joints, but it was like this really nice Integra that when you went out in it with him, people would see it and be like, oh, look at that's a nice Integra. Like that's one of those rice rocket cars that goes fast and furious, you know what I mean? But we were in there and we were in Waikes. We were in Waikiki or Honolulu or some shit, just driving around bumping this album, and this was the song that was on. And we were at like a light and the windows are down, and we're fucking, this is turned up. He's got a little fucking like 12 in the back or whatever, but we're bombing like this. And these dudes, maybe they were visiting, I don't know, but they were white cats, and they looked, they're like, yo, what is that? What is that? What the fuck is that? And then like, we were driving off. I was like, fantastic damage, and they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh man, this fucking album is crazy. Like I never really got, I've drove cars and was bumping music a lot, but I've never had that kind of experience where somebody was like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? And I need to know type of shit. Like the dudes were like, whoa, what the fuck? And it's just like, when you hear this bumped loud, you've never heard anything like it before. It's like, it's just, what do you listen to, fucking Limp Bizkit back then? Or it's like, I don't know, like out of Linkin Park or some shit? Like, no, this shit was fucking, and it still is unusual, unlike anything that you've probably ever heard in your entire life. I don't know another beat like this per se. I'm sure I can draw parallels to some shit, and I'm sure, like, things like that go, but like, when it comes on, like, yeah. And then let's hear Camus. It's the year 2010. You can say what you want, but I bet if you like
2010, you can say what you want, but I bet if you like this blunt, dummy, the feds will come running, lock you up, lock you out. You ain't trying to listen. Cameras in your food, dude. If they trying to listen, lock you up, lock you out. We got bugs.
Now the cameras ain't in your food. Now the cameras just on your Instagram, pictures of food.
Gonna hit you with a switch, hit you with a beam, hit you in the brain, make you go totally insane. Guns.
Rest in peace, man.
They take you out. When the fans push guns on the roof, they take them out. Snuff you out, cause you know too much. After that, you know your hoes get touched.
Look.
Then the meeting starts. You download your chick to a memory card, give her chips and send her to a city job.
All right, Stepfather Factory. This is a great, incredible concept track. It's like one of the greatest of all time. This is like, like it really speaks to something that you just haven't heard. Like I've never heard anybody come up with something like this. It's quite different than like, yo, I'm gonna rap about being a gun. You know what I mean? It's like, it's quite different. It's like brilliant, poignant, a kind of universal experience for a lot of kids. Especially a lot of like poor kids, not having a father and shit. And it's like, it also kind of highlights how disgusting capitalism is. Like, it's really, really great. I actually use this. Like I said, I had to leave Hawaii, and I had to go to what was called it was like a magnet school. It was like a after school. It was like where the bad kids went. The kids that got kicked out, of school, or the girls who was pregnant, or shit like that. So I had to go to that because I missed my graduation for gaffling whips, for stealing cars and doing stupid shit like this in Hawaii, and I fled. So I'm there and I'm going to school and shit like that, and it's like, because it's a new state, they had different like criteria that you had to have in order to graduate from the state. So my Hawaii transcript, and at the time Hawaii was like 49th in the nation for education or some shit like this, like really bad, really poor my school was in Hawaii. Like our typing class, we had typewriters. We didn't have no computers at the school except for like in the computer lab. And the computer lab was always being used by somebody that was like, had better grades than the locals and regular folks and shit. So anyways, I had to go to this creative writing class. I was like, fuck it, this is easy. And in like the last paper I had to do like it was like some like write a creative, like a sales pitch or some shit. I was like, yo, like me ain't doing no homework. I just fucking wrote down the lyrics of Stepfather Factory. And then my teacher, she gave me a standing applause. She was like, that is one of the most brilliant, one of the most great things I've ever seen anybody write in my whole time working in this school. Amazing. And she was like, old black lady. I was like, you shout out. I hate to lie to y'all like that. I hate to bite like that. But yo, I had to get that graduation going. I had to get out of that school, you know what I mean? So yes, shout out to theft. It was like, shout out to biting. Thank you, LP. I wouldn't have graduated without you, my G. Or I would have had to bite somebody else. Because, I could have done it. I could have sold some shit. Like, here's the cooler wave. It's a microwave. You know what I mean? Some shit like this. But yeah, man, like, shout out to that. Let's fucking go. TOJ, Time Is Out of Joint. At the time I had already read a lot of Philip K. Dick, and Philip K. Dick had a book called Time Is Out of Joint. And this song was like, it made me so sad. Like I said, I was with my girl and shit. Like, we had broke up a lot and went back up together. Eventually, it was like 8 years and shit, and we still kind of on that. Like, like last year we was hanging around a lot. Like, we talking a lot. I'm a married man. I told my wife about it and everything like that. It's not crazy. But yeah, my wife wasn't tripping. She was just tripping because she's like, why does he feel sad for the things he did back then? I was like, I got a heart. I was a bad person. I was a serial cheater. I was you know what I mean? Like, I was trauma bonding. And it was bad. You know what I mean? But we cool now or whatever. But this song's like, it was really like sad as shit. It's like, no fantasy of reconciliation. I'm gonna cry a little bit later. Yeah, that young love, that shit make you feel a little bit hurt. But this song is dope too, and the beat is dope too. LP got a lot of different looks on this album. In fact, you go to the next joint, Dr. Hell No and the Praying Mantis. This is the Freakathon. This is a Freaknik right here. This is the fucking Gorilla 5-hand long dick hip hop affection nasty shit. I used to like this. I used to think this was funny. And shout out to NASA. I think NASA's Uncommon NASA is the one who do the mastering of this album or whatever. But he get a shot on the beginning of this. This is a real goon maneuver anthem for me. I was a really horny, sex positive young man back in the day with a lot of millennial angst, and I used to get rid of my depression by that dopamine release of getting new lady faces, and you know what I mean, rocking the Dookie rope with some oven mitts.
Don't make me bite your face.
Yeah, nasty shit. I was who was it? My man. I won't name drop him because maybe he don't want it like this, but yeah, my man in the Discord was like, yo, this fucking song, I could never listen to this. And I was like, I get it, you young Gen Z guys, like, this is pretty nasty, and I get it. But to me, this is more like a comedic look at how gross you can be, not something like an Akinelli or even like some of the nastier like Gangsta Boo, like Sex Positive, or like some of the dudes that are really on that sex shit. This shit is like creatively fucking gross and twisted in a in like a psychedelic type of way, and it's funny.
Chillin' with Lois Lane, and she's open. Suck a cookie out the pussy when it's soaking. Chick bit my head off, but the ass was magic. Should've seen a tattoo on the back of a praying mantis. Cut my chest like Red Sand, but it splashed the crack on some man shit. The baby girl's amped and learning how to walk on both hands backwards. Morning fantastic damage with a grill sunk in the mat. That's my language. Wrote at insane angles with tangled up and damaged.
I wonder if that's where he came up with the title of the album. If he wrote the lyrics, he's like, morning fantastic damage with the grill sunk in the mattress. He's like, I'm gonna call the album Fantastic Damage, because I heard that the original name, if I recall correctly, was going to be The Pain Cave, but I vote heavily towards Fantastic Damage. I still think it's a fucking an incredible album title. Yeah.
The house pets seem alert and confused, and the neighbors leaving messages. Get in your stomach and I'll plug you in all your entrances.
This must be underground category.
Dr. Hell No.
Yo, and I used to like Vass a lot back then. Our yin is colorful, but our yang is muddy. He used to have some bars. I see what he's doing. Like he's completely taken the title Cannibal Ox and is using it for his solo career now, which I don't know the details of the fallout or if there was one between him and Vordel, or whatever, any of the kind of any of the I don't know anything about it, but it does kind of feel a little bit like you trying to relive off of the past of a name that has a lot of good grace. I mean, we all believe that, not we, like the royal we, like dope cats, believe the Cannibal Ox, The Cold Vein is one of the greatest albums that has ever come out in the hip hop category, and it's fucking amazing. And we all loved Vass for that stuff back then. And then when he started doing like what he was doing, I was kind of like, you're gonna have to leave these fucking these fucking freeway beats alone and stop trying to do your shit over like Beanie Siegel joints, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, but yeah.
Look at these sloppy cats
with the copy raps. He was very simple and eloquent, but I like that.
Our yin is colorful, but our yang is muddy. And if you ever
let's see. Also this, man. To me, this is like Such an incredible joint too. I don't know what you would call this. This is like some, we had shit that was dope, like Alec Empire, hypermodern jazz. There's a lot of IDM stuff coming out at the time. There was, Square Pusher and Aphex Twin and people doing a lot of things, even in a different kind of lanes, like DJ Shadow was doing things. But where was another one like this? It's got the energy of like jungle or dub, but there's also this sped up kind of Bomb Squad cacophonous element with these weird synth stabs and just the energy he's rapping over. It's probably closer to Bomb Squad shit more than it is to drum and bass, but like this shit was like, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, I gotta do more drugs. I gotta get my psychedelic bag. I gotta experience this one, you know what I mean, in the right way.
In a cage, copying suicide tracks. Drugs acting our age means talking like sex, and the weatherman's too drugged out to tell you when the sun sets. Labels rock that man.
All right, I won't harp on this one too long, but you should know that this is when I have the aux, this is the type of shit that gets played. When I DJ, this is the type of shit that gets played, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah. And the next one is probably. This one does remind me a bit of like Little Johnny from the Hospital, and it does sound a little different to me on the album than a lot of the other production. And it's kind of like an interlude or like an establishing shot in a movie. It kind of pulls that energy all the way down from Laserface's Warning, and I think that's good, and it's dope. I do think that he gets better. LP gets better doing the kind of instrumental soundscape stuff. If you look at his like the score work that he did on that movie Bomb the System, it's just like LP beats pretty much. But he does get better. He does the Capone shit. He does get a lot better. Even on I'll Sleep When You're Dead, the production kind of has a more of a standalone quality that doesn't need his voice. Or lyrics to kind of tie it together in an interesting way. But this one's okay. It's just kind of like, I don't think this album is like a perfect 10 out of 10. It just happens to be my favorite LP album. Like, it's good. All right. All right, Constellation Funk. This song used to make me feel anxious. I'm not sure why. But shout out to NASA. I'm a big fan of NASA. I think he doesn't get a lot of flowers. But yeah, he's one of the greats too.
Hello, fresh. Welcome home. This is home plate stage. Murder breath, one eye, solo step. Bring it. Elf duck in the duck, snuggle in, tight fight. This is what? Something to define me, baby. Running man, run quick, scissor stick, straight out. Look into semantics, man. Look into them closely. Most hope parasite, even a title fight. Someone took a dive tonight. Follow where the money goes. Seconds then, money makes love thump. Cardiac, money, black card thump. Make me punch faces. Pervert king, stood behind the curtain for the blade stick. Some might stand above that. Numbers don't worth thought. I control no one. Radio.
Oh, as I record this, a new episode of episode 20 of What's Up with the Minutes just came out. Looks like that's going down right now. It's a good episode. I had fun doing kind of a game show type of this or that category thing at the end that I think is kind of entertaining. We serendipitously came to a kind of really funny deep niche backwoods joke about a kid, and also the sketch Jeff Markey album that came out on Backwoods, and I was proud of myself for that one. But it's so damn niche that like only people who are really tapped in probably will get that one and laugh at it. But I love it. Yeah, this is good. Now this song, I love this song, and I think it's a fantastic ending to the album. I think the I think Mr. Lift's verse is so beautiful on this, and that's C-Ray's Walls, man. I heard that he's got himself into some difficulties and does some perhaps deplorable things. I don't know anything about that either, but I had the pleasure of hanging out with C-Ray Walls for a while and rapping with him one night in South by Southwest. He was rocking a blonde wig, and I was like, That's C. Ray Walls in a blonde wig. He was just on the street corner with another person and was like, yeah, it's time to hang out. Let's do a little bit of this. But yeah, C. Ray's was an MC's MC, man. That fool could freestyle. He could, he was really great and incredible and fucking hilarious. But, I don't know. I don't know anything about the situation that happened. But I like him here. Yeah, this song is so good. Don't look now, you're becoming your parents. Blood. And what Lift says, like, or the refrain that they both use, what is it? I saw a dream float slow through the soluble hemoglobin. Man, Lift is so dope. With that said, yeah, we'll go out to Lift, man. Or maybe I have more to say. I don't know. Let's see. When I say he, I mean I. When I say you, I mean we will prevail. When I say she, I mean God. Give us strength. What does Lift say? He says, upon the heathen who remains cold, no, the sun shines. The other, think not of it. The moon will drag the ocean's tide, the wind will blow, and then my heart will flow through the soluble hemoglobin. Where emotion causes no motions, a metal door opens on. Mom smile, dad style, the dance maneuvers of a little child. Look to the sidelines, for I shine upon my time. The vision declines through sharp vines and bloodlines. Upon the heathen who remains cold, though the sun shines. The other, not of it. The moon will drag the ocean's tide, the wind will blow, and then my heart will split. Back hunched, eyes low, thorn mutilates a side slow. The darkest thoughts were used in a row. Where did the child go? A kiss is floating through the air but never landed. Will you accept all these excuses in exchange for understanding? Our dreams float slow through the soluble hemoglobin, where our love resembles flow, and the beats where human flow. And the thought of hope itself consists of suicidal fabric. I slip beyond myself into the realms of bad magic. Man, Lift's voice sounds so dope on this. But yeah, man, what an incredible journey this album was. Let me know if you guys want me to do more of these. I was thinking about doing one for two other albums that came out around this time. The Micronauts Obelisk Movements, which is a really important album to me in my political development and also stylistically. I really like fucking I Self Divine. And then also, Gaffling Whips by the legendary Big Just. Plantation Rhymes EP. I was thinking about I actually did a recording for that, but I fucked up and I didn't record the music audio, so it's just me talking and I'm like rewinding back and pointing out shit, and I didn't get the fucking music, so I couldn't release it. But I was thinking about redoing that and such. And like, if you guys like these, I know a lot of times in the Discord, the young homies who are on a B-Boy Alpha and just getting into hip-hop culture and come from a different generation, they like to hear the perspective of old heads who were around back in the time, who were like, hip-hoppy, like, 4-Element kids like that, and not just being like, yeah, I fucking love Kanye back then, which was I didn't. And so, like, if you enjoyed this and you're a person that's coming to the channel for the first time, perhaps go check out some of those videos, check out some of our reviews. We definitely don't like to call them reviews, but essentially that's just what there is. We don't do number ratings. We mostly just discuss them for their qualities and try to kind of uncover and package some of the things that we feel are interesting and wonderful about them. Also, if you're into hearing discussions about hip-hop culture that are not like ranking your favorite rappers or topical news about the Jay-Z fucking freestyle, and you want to hear people talk about things like the ceiling for underground art, or what experimental is, or catharsis in music and stuff like that, we do that a lot too. So check it out. Shout out to all of the Patreons, you guys that have been rocking with me for a long time, not receiving a lot of content, not receiving a lot of love in general. I mostly deliver extra content and love in the Discord, think about joining that, because I think it's fun. It's a good place. We have a really good, strong community of people who are in the theory room a lot. Bombing Man, shout out, like Brew, and man, there's people in here who are reading, doing the knowledge. Young homies are hitting me up asking for books, and really we're trying to get on that organizing stuff. I would really like to get to 3,000 followers this year. It's been hard for me to exist within this kind of content capitalism world with the idea that I don't care to do anything but like highlight hip hop. I don't do advertising. I don't share. I don't fucking retweet or interact with the social media stuff like that. So most of the people that find us here are getting it because of they Googled it or somebody told them about it. And there's stuff that is just like, if we do a review of, like, I don't know, Wakai, who is incredible and great and a wonderful artist. Wakai doesn't have that much, like, a huge fan base, but we do that, and we're quite happy getting our couple hundred views on that. But unless you're looking for Wakai, it's like, you know, like, people see the name and they're like, I don't know that guy, I'm not going to listen to it. And that's what we do, that we don't give a fuck about. Like, we aren't trying to massage the algo. We don't see a Kendrick Lamar joint come out and have to talk about it. We don't even do the JPEG Mafia sometimes, even though the discourse around that, to me, is a little strange, and I would like to engage with it. But, you know, if me and Jed aren't on the same page about it, we just kind of be like, we'll do it, and we'll do something else. And that's what we do. So shout out, plenty much love to all the Secret House tenants, all the people here from What's Up with the Minutes, all the people here from old Mega Late Show shit. Just out here in Tokyo trying to figure it out, man. Thank you.
You misinterpreted that punk crush shit. Some man punk crush this. Spectacular dawning in the hurt in a fashion with distraction and bliss. 12 took a sabbatical, but back for the new semester.